All right, well, a call to order, and who do we have present? Mike, have you got everybody that's present?
Yes, I do. You want me to read the names?
Let me.
Yeah, you might as well.
Rob, can you put the chat line on?
We have directors Michael Witch, Peggy Jackson, Mark Litvin, Jeff Megan, Louis Simons, Lenny Verastro, and Jack Saraceno. Absent director is John Verney. We also have present Matt Sullivan, Dina and Rob, Sean, Sharon. That's it. And they're our excellent staff.
And Phil Oldham is on as well.
And Phil Oldham is on, yes, as a member of the public.
I don't think I heard my name.
Who's that?
Steve Israelski.
Oh, you're right. You didn't hear your name. Thank you, Steve.
Okay, so Matt, I assume you will have words for the staff and everybody, but just to start off during this crisis, I think you guys have done an absolutely superb job. And particularly the communities, the municipalities ought to be very happy with us, although we'll see the next time we meet with them. I thought I would just refresh our recollection over the major points that we did during 2019, one of which would be the officially taking over the town center and attempting to switch our $500,000 grant from Steve Otis to from the village of Mamaroneck to the town center, and that's still in the works. We also completed our survey with Sue Buskey, which I thought was terrific, and good community involvement and good answers for the three municipalities. We are increasing our visibility by the purchase of a van, and hopefully that's going to be out soon. We retained Bott and Company, Laura Bott, to rebrand us, and so we're going from eliminating a hyphen to a whole new brand. We installed monitors in the libraries and the Army Navy store. And all of these efforts are to make us more visible to the community. So that's my spiel so far. One of the things we should do is, I noticed from the agenda, is to approve the minutes from our annual meeting of last year.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. By voice vote, we've been adopted. We also officially need to accept the auditor's report. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Who was that?
Lenny.
Okay, Lenny. Any second?
I'll second it.
Mike seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. The next thing we should do officially is to elect directors and officers. And so up for directors would be myself, Lenny, and Steve Israelski.
Before we vote, I did reach out to John Verney, and he sent me a nice note. He said he does not wish to be renominated to the board, but he says, I wish you, the board, and the entire staff of LMC-TV all the best as you steer a new course for the future of our beloved local cable TV station. I will remain a steadfast supporter and do my best to attend future LMC-TV events.
Well, it's nice to be beloved.
It's a step in the right direction.
Yes. All right. Well, that's not unexpected. None of us have talked to John, and if we called upon him, I'm sure he'd jump right in help us with whatever we want to do. So that leaves the three of us, myself, Lenny Verastro, and Steve Ozrowski, to be nominated. I can't nominate myself.
I'll make the
motion.
nomination. All right,
Peggy?
I'll do it.
Okay.
We have a second?
I'll second.
Louis, a second.
Thank you, Louis. All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right. No contrary minded? And then now the election of officers, which is essentially the same for at least for this year, which be myself as president, Peggy as vice president, Mike is secretary, and Lenny is treasurer.
Aye.
I'd like
Do I
to
have a motion
move,
on that?
I'd like to move that we approve the board of directors as listed. Excuse me, the officers as listed.
Any second?
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. So it's passed. Matt, why don't you take over and give us a report?
Great. Thank you, Jeff, and thank you everyone on our board and everyone who's watching and listening to our annual meeting 2020. I want to take the opportunity now just to turn it over to the LMC-TV staff to introduce themselves quickly, and for any of you who have prepared any remarks, now would be the time to do so. So let's start with Dina Schumacher, our Assistant Director.
Hi, I am Dina Schumacher, the Assistant Director here at LMC-TV. I do not have any prepared comments at this time.
Thank you, Dina. Mr. Rob Moretti, our Varsity Sports Producer.
Hey everybody, I'm Rob. I've been doing the sports producing here for over 8 years now. It's a blast. Hope we can get back to it soon. Obviously, as the schools are closed right now, but still holding out. I hope there's going to be a spring sports season and obviously seasons to follow afterwards. Also, been spending a lot of this past year plus working on our van project, and I do want to share a few photos. So let's get that shared. This is a photo of, can everyone see?
Oh, yeah.
This is actually was the last one I wanted to show, but we'll go in the reverse order. This is a viewing area in the back of the van. Some seating. This will also be used for crew. There's going to be a large TV mounted here, so it's kind of like a VIP viewing area that we can use while we're doing production. Production itself, there'll be a cart that goes here that I'll show you in a moment. That's right next to our VIP viewing area. Seating will be here for director and graphics, and the cart locks in here safely for transit. It also comes out for remote productions, and I do have a picture of the completed broadcasting cart. Has a Ross Ultra switcher, digital audio, graphics integrated, all the conversion it needs. It's also going to connect to an uplink in the van that'll allow us to go out live over 3G, 4G from practically anywhere. The van also has a generator, so it really is a truly mobile production unit that I'm really excited to finally acquire and start using.
I want to see it on the football field.
Me too.
Yes. Well, Rob, thank you for that and all of your help in securing this and working on the project. It's really been an exciting time, and I can't wait to roll this out. Literally. And we also want to thank DNR Laboratories as well for working with us on the project, and the Village of Mamaroneck really for all their help, and the town as well.
Yeah, Jerry Barbieri.
Yep.
Yep.
Hey, Rob, have you been running any like classic games?
I did one about a
No.
week and a half ago. I ran a poll on my Twitter page, and the fans were able to weigh in on which game they wanted to hear us. So we didn't just run a game; we actually replayed it and commentated over it with some hindsight. So was able to add a little bit more extra to it. I think Lewis is actually showing it on his window right now.
Good.
So yeah, we're looking to do more things like that in the future as well, as long as this thing lasts.
Yeah, good.
Great. Thank you very much, Rob. And I guess we'll turn it over now to Sharon Latimer Mosley, our Office Manager and Community Bulletin Board Manager.
Not hearing you, Sharon.
Sharon, you need to unmute yourself.
It's bad when it's live. My name is Sharon Latimer Mosley, as Matt said. I've been with LMC-TV for over 10 years now. I'm responsible as the office manager for accounts receivables, 6 accounts payable accounts. I check expense reports for completeness, and I do the community bulletin board, and I also manage the LMC-TV info Twitter account. In 2019, we went from our old database system to QuickBooks. So that makes it easier for us to invoice our customers. And it's also, I feel like maybe let me know when I'm going too long, Matt.
No, that's all right. Keep going.
You're the limit. Okay, so as I said, us going to QuickBooks makes it easier for us to invoice, and it makes it easy. It makes it easier for reporting, and it makes it easier for us to manage what monies are coming in. Okay, so I'll talk a little bit about the community bulletin board, which is our digital signage system. So the digital signage system appears in between regular LMC-TV programming. And how does it work? Local community members can either send their event notices to us on our LMC-TV page. They can fill out the LMC-TV bulletin board request, and it'll come directly to me, and I will then post the bulletin. In 2019, as Matt said, we implement, oh no, that was Jeff. As Jeff said, in 2019, we put LMC-TV LMC-TV monitors in both libraries and Robert's Army Navy store. So what did that do? That gave us more visibility in the community, and the customers who walked by Robert's complimented on how wonderful the images looked. So how do we get those images? Those images, we subscribe to a photo subscription for images, so that we are using copywritten, we have the permission to use the images. Okay, so we also did in 2019 when we posted the monitors in the various areas, we did an in-service training in the library. So we taught them how to post their own bulletins. So now the libraries are able to post their event bulletins directly to the community bulletin board after I've reviewed and approved it. So are there any questions about QuickBooks? Any questions? Oh, I forgot one last thing about QuickBooks. In 2020, depending on how this all works out, we will be instituting a policy of getting the quote from the client and the customer and having them approve and sign off, and then we'll send them the invoice so that there's no question about pricing.
Sharon, I had a question.
Sure.
Do you show the same bulletin board on each channel?
No, I should have made that clear. Okay, so there is a public channel, an import channel, and a municipal channel. On the municipal channel, I post bulletins that are voted, things that are voted on. So I'll post a tax notice from the town of Rye or from the village. In either the town or the village, I'll post their tax notices, or I'll post the tax notice of, not the tax notice, the voting for the libraries and things like that. So each one is different. Import is if someone from outside wants to post their bulletin on our channel, and it goes on that channel. Public is for, say, the gallery, the Mamaroneck Artist Guild, if they want to post something, then that would go on the public channel.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That's all I have.
Thank you,
Call me
Sharon.
if you have any questions. I'm better on the phone than
Will do.
than in public.
We lost Matt.
It looks like we
Matt.
lost Matt.
Uh-oh.
I'm sure he'll be back.
There he is. There he is.
God bless.
Matt's back. All right.
My apologies. My internet was being faulty right now. Sharon, I was not able to hear if you were done with your report, but I think we do. Are you all,
Yes,
all set?
yes, I am.
All right, thank you. Well, I do want to say there are three other staff members you can't see on here right now. We have Christina Carino Forrest, Stefan Aloisa, who we want to congratulate. Stefan and his wife actually recently gave birth to their baby daughter, Liliana. So congratulations to the Aloisa family. We're very happy for you.
Patience.
And I'm sure we'll have plenty of pictures and photos to share with the community as well. Stefan being our resident photographer, it'll be his muse, you know, his number one subject. And Sean Kelly, who's been instrumental for us right now, being physically present at the town center, running all of the live meetings that we have. So he's been really just such a huge help. So Sean, thank you so much for that. And Dina, Sharon, Rob, you guys have done an absolutely incredible job during this time. And I just want to echo Jeff's sentiment, and I think the rest of the board, in saying thank you for putting this organization in the best light possible. So round of applause for everybody. So I will get on with my report. I know that there was a hand raised. We're going to get to the public comments shortly after. I just want to read off my 2019 report, which will also be available in the annual report that we will circulate to everyone in digital form. But LMC-TV has an exciting road ahead, thanks to the incredible efforts of our staff, board members, community producers, interns, and volunteers. The community media landscape has changed drastically. In 2019, the Federal Communications Commission implemented rule changes that allowed cable providers the ability to deduct what are called in-kind contributions from the franchise fees, the franchise fees being the main source of LMC-TV's funding. The organization was quick to identify the issue and implemented a strategic plan that both addressed the challenge and opened new doors for media accessibility in our community and beyond. Throughout the year, LMC-TV has worked with the Buskey Group to identify ways that LMC-TV could turn its challenges into opportunities. Multiple stakeholder meetings were held with LMC staff, board members, organizational leaders, community producers, and municipal officials. Online surveys were sent out to area businesses, nonprofits, institutions, and residents. The culmination was a plan that transitioned LMC-TV into LMC Media, a move that we feel reflects the diverse interests and needs of the large Mamaroneck communities. We look forward to launching the new resources and continued services in the spring of 2020. 2019 really was a year of engagement for us. We kicked things off with the Books Come to Life, which was an incredible event that we hosted at the Village of Mamaroneck Public Library. And we were able to walk, quite literally, people through certain reimaginings of classic literature for everyone in attendance. As Jeff had mentioned, we strengthened our visibility with the presence of monitors out in the community. And as Rob had mentioned earlier, we have our van, which is going to roll out
Uh-oh.
I lost you guys. I heard you, Peggy. I don't know if you hear me.
I hear you, Jack.
Yeah, we lost Matt.
We lost Matt.
He froze.
Yep,
I
he's
think he's
back.
back.
There he is.
Welcome back.
So at what point did I cut out?
And you were
There's
talking
Van.
Through
Oh, yeah.
the
I'm sorry, what was the last
Dina's
thing?
event. Dina's event.
Oh, that was the last thing.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Okay. Well, skipping ahead, we will say, again, that we strengthened our visibility in 2019. Jeff had mentioned the monitors,
the
Rob had
audio.
mentioned. Okay. I think I'm going to call into this meeting. Can everyone hear?
Yes.
Right now, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we'll try this. We'll try this again. Just let me know if I cut out. But our community partnerships were essentially were very strong this year. We had great participation from the Larchmont Mamaroneck Lions Club. Phil Oldham is in attendance tonight watching. And we thank you, Phil and Diane, and the rest of the Lions Club. The Fuller Center, Greater New York, CURE, STEM Alliance, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, Larchmont Newcomers Club, the Summit, Southeast Consortium, Marine Education Center, Village Arts Council, At Home on the Sound, our local Parks and Rec, and so many more. Community Resource Center, who we worked with in providing educational resources to our Spanish-speaking community in video post and regular video production. And we also worked very closely with the Larchmont and Mamaroneck Chambers of Commerce. We produced, with the help of Good For You Productions, the Larchmont and Mamaroneck Experience. Each one of those videos was a 2.5-minute video highlight that essentially showed the vibrancy of our communities. Sadly, we were forced to make some difficult decisions in 2019, part of which included postponement of our hyper-local.
Oh, there he goes.
$50,000 reduction. Sorry, am I still connected? Is everyone hearing me?
We lost you at hyperlocal, but you came back.
You're back.
I'm back. Thank you. Okay, so we unfortunately, as I was saying, in 2019, we postponed our hyper-local news program, The Local Live, due to budgetary cuts by the Board of Control. We saw a $50,000 reduction in 2020. But I do want to personally thank all of our producers, our news directors, hosts, interns, and the countless volunteers who make close to 300 programs possible. And what I'm happy to see is that in this pandemic, LMC really has shifted and I think risen to the occasion, and we created a program called Community Conversations. The goal of this being really to continue providing support and information to the community. We have a wonderful program lined up, and just want to thank everyone who's been a part of that, both our guests, our producers, and our hosts. We've received a lot of positive feedback on that, and part of that program is a live chat with our local municipal officials every Thursday. So if you tune in on Thursday nights at 7:30, you can see all those community conversations. This particular week, the 23rd, we're pushing it to 8:30 because of a schedule conflict with the mayor, but normally you can catch that 7:30 on Thursdays, and you can email your questions into lmctv@lmctv.org and have those answered live. We also have that on Facebook Live as well. So that being said, I know we are running very short on time. I will say on a personal note that I was happy to join the board of the Northeast region of the Alliance for Community Media. During my tenure as board member, I participated in the planning and execution of the 2019 ACM Northeast Conference and Trade Show held in Portland, Maine. In addition, I worked with regional and national leaders in the field of community media to come up with strategies and initiatives that reflect the diverse opportunities and challenges really that face our industry. I greatly enjoy this work, and I look forward to running for re-election in the spring.
I'd like to add, Matt, that you were elected, you won the Emerging Leader Award from the
I
ACM
forgot.
for this year. You get that award at their annual conference.
Thank you. Thanks, Mike. Well, that certainly doesn't come alone. And I think that speaks volumes to the support levels that I've had both with the staff and the board. So thank you guys for that opportunity as well. And I would just say in summary, LMC is really proud to announce that we feel 2020 will be a year of great change for the organization. Obviously implementing our strategic plan, launching the LMC media branding. It's certainly a large, but an exciting endeavor. And again, I just want to take a moment to thank all of you, our board and our staff who's worked so hard, our volunteers, our interns, and everyone in the community, the Board of Control as well, for keeping LMC afloat and believing that it is important and essential to build community through media.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you, Matt, and thank you, Dina, for all the work you do, especially on the community conversations.
Yeah, thanks to all of you for doing such a great job during this pandemic that we're going through.
Absolutely.
Thanks, guys. There is one quick thing that we wanted to show. I know we are running short on time. There was a hand raised, so I definitely want to make sure that we get to Phil. Just before we do that, Rob, if we can do a screen share and roll that annual video, and then we'll go into the numbers on the annual report.
Woohoo!
Very nice.
Terrific.
Wow.
Well done.
Thank you.
Great.
2019 in a nutshell. Okay, so this is part of our annual report that we'll be distributing to everyone. We'll have physical copies on hand for those who would like a physical copy, but in trying to save the environment, we'll be distributing this mainly through digital platforms. I want to thank Stefan Aloisa, who did a really incredible job designing this, and our staff for sending all the information out. As you can see here, that's our LMC mobile van and how that will look. We're really excited about that. We had over 500 community bulletin boards in 2019, over 1,000 volunteer hours, 241 studio productions, one shy of 200 on location shoots, 174 municipal and school board meetings, which was a record for us. There's a huge amount of meetings to cover, and 72 varsity sports games. And then on the bottom, you can see we've made a concerted effort really to put everything on social media so that we can reach the largest audience possible. 2537 and the likes and follows on Facebook. Just short of 1,000 Twitter followers on our 2 accounts, and our YouTube numbers significantly increased, as well as our Instagram numbers for the year. And we'll continue to work on those in 2020. Next slide, please. There's a little bit our wonderful staff and election night on the bottom there. Again, this will be made available to the public. It's an interactive brochure as well, so you can click through and get to certain links, which is really nice. Next slide, please. Okay, this is our programming for the year. So it's tough for me to read here, but it looks like 525 shows on our public channel, 221 shows on our municipal channel, and 445 shows on our import channel. So, you know, the numbers are really incredible. That's all the programming that we're putting out. And on the right here, you have programs and events. So over 13,700 hours of content aired in 2019. Quite an accomplishment. Next slide. And I believe this is mainly stuff that we can send to everyone. But the one thing that I want to highlight here as we wrap up, again, the operational cost versus value. And those of you who attended our summit meetings or some of the other presentations we've made to the municipalities can see that really the cost to operate LMC-TV versus the value to the community is really minimal. The value is incredible. It costs $278, let's round up, $1,000 for these programs, and then the value to the community just shy of $1.7 million. So when we talk about the value of this organization and what it brings to Larchmont and Mamaroneck, I think it's very important that people see this in real numbers.
Hey, Matt,
yes.
Can you take 30 seconds to explain how you compute value?
Sure. This is done mainly through hours and costs. You know, if we'll take all the meetings that we've covered, add up the hours for staff, you know, well, in terms of the value, I'm sorry, Mike, the value really is done by using other numbers from media facilities, not like LMC-TV. These are professional, not for-profit media houses located either in White Plains or New York City. So those are the going rates, if you will, in that column. We do have to wrap, and I want to make sure that we get to Phil Oldham, who had raised his hand. So Rob, if we can let Phil into the webinar for his question.
He's in.
Okay, Phil, you are there. I think we have to unmute his microphone or ask you to unmute, Phil.
Oh, okay, I just did. Try now. Are we there?
Hi, Phil.
All right, real quick. Now, you were talking about having monitors at different locations. There are many, obviously, restaurants and bars in town that obviously have monitors primarily to run sports, but sports don't run a lot of time during the day. Is there an effort to try to get LMC-TV airing in those already existing monitors, TVs?
Thanks for the question. Certainly a great idea. One of the things that we've spoken to various restaurants. I know that I'll speak for myself if I frequent, which I often do, a Larchmont or Mamaroneck restaurant, speaking with the owner and seeing if they would put LMC-TV on. I think a lot of the time the issue comes up where the staff may not know to do that. So it would have to be implemented some way through the management at the restaurant or the bar. But definitely something that we can continue to push for. And I think if there are members of the general public who are frequenting a restaurant or a bar and they'd like the owners to put on LMC, we'd certainly be happy if they did that.
Or through the Chamber of Commerce's.
Absolutely. Great idea. And Phil, while we have you again, thank you so much for doing your to the Lions for doing the match at Sedona Steakhouse. We were able to raise see $1,000 from the Lions for that match, so that was really incredible, and we really appreciate the partnership.
Thank you, Phil.
Well, we know that you're valuable to the community, but you're really valuable to the Lions Club, whose goals it is to identify and connect the elements of the community. Without you, we can't do it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, so that wraps up, I believe, my report and the staff report. Jeff, I don't know, or other board members, if you care to add anything. I know we have a 2-minute hard out here, so my apologies for not leaving much time.
Anybody else want to have an input? Perhaps
I'll
we
make a quick
should hear
comment.
from our newest member.
I think Peggy had a comment as well.
I just
Okay,
wanted to say,
Peggy?
Matt and all of the staff, what you have accomplished this year is extraordinary. And I know you've worked under tremendous pressure and it really is appreciated. And so thank you to all of you. And what you've accomplished during the shutdown has even exceeded that. So I'm really bowled over when I look at the lists of everything that you've accomplished. Thank you and kudos.
Thank you, Peggy. Appreciate it.
And our newest board member, Mark,
Yeah, I'm
just
here.
want to say hello to the public.
Hi,
and
Mark.
Tell them who you
Hello,
are.
public. It's only been a couple months and most of it's been with everybody closed. So it's a rocky start, but I'm glad to be on the board and it's a great organization. And I just echo what everybody else has said.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark. We're excited to have you on.
Yep.
Mr. President, it's yours.
Well, I just hope the Board of Control recognizes the work that's been done during this pandemic period. Hopefully they will. We'll see. Anyhow, it's been a great year, and we look forward to 2020 and great things in our van and exciting things. So, Matt, this is a wrap.